Hi guys, welcome to a new session of statistics. So today we're going to be going through the meaning of statistics. What is it about? Trying to understand what the term statistics means. Before we dive into other concepts. Statistics is a scientific method that studies data collection, presentation, analysis, interpretation, or interference about data when issue of uncertainty are involved. So now, statistics is a collection. What do you mean collection? When you collect a lot of data together and trying to analyze this data that you collected, trying to analyze it. So, in order to analyze this data, then you're able to present the data to any users of that data. And when presenting those data, you'll be able to interpret the data you are presenting to the users so that they will be able to understand every concept of your data. What's the data all about? That's what statistics is all about. So now statistics, this data collection arises when there is uncertainty or in the case of uncertainty. And this uncertainty can be like something that you didn't know will happen. Yeah, it can be that okay, you didn't know that there will be unemployment in the country. So, but you are collecting the number of people that are employed, the number of jobs available for unemployed people. So now, in a case whereby the population of a country increases, you'll be able to allocate those populations to different sector of the company of the economy that has employment for these unemployed people. Now, this uncertainty is something like when any uncertainty like recession, inflation, other uncertainty happens, and you're able to know how to manage those uncertainty with the data that you have collected. That's what statistics is all about. So now let's dive into data presentation. Now we know that since data has been collected, they have been analyzed. How do you present this data? This data can be presented in different groups. Now, before I give us how this data can be presented. Now let's dive into how this data can be organized. Like how can we organize this data before we present the data? So now in organizing this data, we can organize data qualitatively. Now what does this mean? Trying to organize data based on the quality of an item. Now it could be that you have the same product, a lot of products, but in the same line of the same industry. Like these products are producing the same product, but they are different companies. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to grade each company's products based on their quality. That's qualitative. You're trying to be taking more information, taking more data about the quality of each product of each companies. So we have the quantitative. So quantitative deals with quantity. You're trying to quantify an event or trying to quantify an uncertainty, trying to quantify an event. Now it's just like you dealing with numbers. Yeah, that's what it means. Like trying to know the number of people that were in a particular place, like the population of a particular country. Trying to, you are not trying to get the quality of the people in the country. You are trying to know the number of people. So it deals with numerical aspect of data. So we have the chronological. Now, chronological deals with time series. And what this means is that time series deals with days, weeks, months, and years. Now, this is like a periodical way of organizing data. Trying to organize data day by day, week by week, month by month. Like it could be that in a day they have a lot of data, but you are trying to organize those data based on the time that each of these data was imputed or when this event occurred, trying to organize it periodically. So we have geographical, and geographical is based on location. It could be that collecting data from different persons or from different events, and you are only taking the data based on the location of each event. Like if an uncertainty happen in a location, you are trying to get the data from that location before going on to the next location. So that's what geographical way of that's what geographical means, trying to organize data based on the location. Now let's dive into how data can be presented. So I've said how data can be organized. So now let's go into how data can be presented. Now data can be presented through text, through tables, and through diagrams. Text presentation of data deals with presenting data using text or numbers. Like you're just trying to write down the data of an event, just trying to write it down in text and in numbers. Now, this type of data presentation looks a bit bulky because if you have a lot of series of events, a lot, and you are trying to present this data, it's going to look very, very bulky, and it's unable, like it will give the users inability to read through all the data. But text presentation of data gives us detailed analysis of what this data is all about, how it occur, the time. That's what text presentation of data is all about. Tabular presentation deals with you trying to present data in tables, in rows and columns. That's what tabular presentation of data is all about. This tabular presentation of data is like the reference table, the summary table, time series table, the frequency distribution table, and it can be simple and also can be complex. The diagrammatic way of presenting data. Now this is with you trying to present data in diagrams. Now in our text here, they said this is used to reflect the relationship trends and comparison among variables presented on a table. Now it's just like you trying to compare variables that is presented in a table, but you are trying to present it in a diagram. Now, diagrammatic way of presenting data is being called, now those data is being presented with the aid of tables. So immediately, once you present data in tables, you can now use that table to present it into diagrams. And these diagrams gives us pictorial analysis or explanation of what this data is all about. Now, diagrammatic data consists of the bar charts, the pie chart, the histogram, the cumulative frequency, the pictogram, and so on and so forth. That's what the diagrammatic data is all about.